March is done. So let's do a wrap up. All right. I was in a bit of a book slump last month, and I just did not even want to pick up a book. And that's very rare for me. It's not like I just couldn't really try. It wasn't that I picked up a whole bunch of books and like tried to get into them. I just didn't want to read. I don't know. I don't know what was going on. I needed a reset, I guess. So I went to Lucy Score. This is Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. And ignore the sticker on it. I got it from Book Outlet. And I can't get the sticker off. Anyways. So I find Lucy Score, yes, it's a rom-com, but it's more of more story than smut. So it's what I'm looking for. So this was the third in a series, and I was like, oh, I might as well pick this up and get it over with. But this was a lot better than the second book. So if you've gotten into the series and you found the second book, I don't know if it was slow. I don't know, something about the second book. Anyways, I really like this one. So this one you have Lucian and Sloane, and through the other two books, you know there's some conflict between them. There's a big secret. You don't know why. And then this is an enemies to lover that their bickering accidentally turns to foreplay. The flames are fanned and it is impossible to put them out again. But with Sloane more than ready to start a family and Lucian refusing to even consider the idea of marriage and kids, these enemies to lovers are stuck at an impasse. When Lucian learns the hard way that leaving Sloane is impossible, the very least he can do is keep her safe. So that was a 4-star. I really liked the series. It was good. So when I finished that one, I was like, okay, what do I want to pick up now? And I just didn't want anything serious. I just was not in the mood. So I picked up another Lucy Score. It was on Kindle Unlimited, and it was called The Story of My Life. And this one was so funny. Like it's a new series. I guess the second one comes out 2026. Oh man. Okay. So Story of My Life is about Hazel. Hazel is given a 1-2 punch when she's forced to move out of her Upper East Side and is given a final warning from her publisher. If she doesn't turn in a book by her next deadline, they're gonna cut her loose. Hazel rashly decides to leave what's left of the city and impulse buys a house in rural Pennsylvania, sight unseen. How better to entertain the loyal readers she still has and rediscover her writing mojo than immersing herself in a small town. Too bad the town looks like it's on its last leg. At least she's finding swoon-worthy inspiration in the hot, grumpy contractor Cam and his animal rescuing community-involved family. It's all just research. What could go wrong? All right, this book was so funny. Like right from the bat, it was just hilarious. And yeah, there's some smut in it. I'll put it that way. But there's some animal sidekicks in this. I guess you'd call them sidekicks. And it's just so funny. It's just so funny. So anyways, I highly recommend this one. 5 stars. It got me out of my funk. It was, if you are in a book slump, pick this book up. Okay. So then the next book I picked up was Our Infinite Fates. And I am notorious, guys, for ordering from, well, I have Book of the Month. And I'm not sponsored. And I am notorious for getting books from Book of the Month every month and not reading them. So I was like, I got this last month. And I was like, I should really just pick it up. And I hadn't actually heard anyone else read this one, so I didn't know it was so good. So it says, Our Infinite Fates. They loved each other in 1,000 times. They killed each other in every one. So this is about Evelyn can remember all her past lives. She can remember that in every single one that she's been murdered before she's 18 by Arden, a supernatural being linked to her soul. The problem is that she's quite fond of her life she's in now, and her little sister needs her in order to stay alive. If Evelyn wants to save her sister, she'll have to find the centuries-old devil who hunts her through each life before they find her first, figure out why she's being hunted, and finally break the curse and try not to fall in love again. Alright, so this book was actually on my list to read in April, and I binged this thing. I thought, okay, I'll pick it up, and I think I picked it up on maybe the 30th and finished it on March 31st. So it's not in my April read. It was in my March read. And it was so good. The suspense. Like, you know she's going to get murdered. It's in there. And you're like, no, don't murder her. You know she's gonna get murdered because she gets murdered every life. And so about every other chapter, it's goes into a past life and explains who she was. And she can be a female, she can be a male, and sometimes she's in love with this Arden, and sometimes she's not, and sometimes she knows who he is in this life, and sometimes she doesn't. And it will get you that you just cannot put this book down. And when you do put it down, you're thinking about it. You're thinking like, because each chapter is kind of like a different life. You're like, okay, who is it in this life? And so anyways, highly recommend. 5-star. So good. And then the ending. Okay, if anyone's read this, please message me because I don't want to spoil this, but the ending, anyways, it's really good. That's what I read. I've read 3 books. This isn't actually a story of my life. This is just, I put this in so it looks like I've read 3 books here, but story of my life was on Kindle Unlimited. And here's my book math. Message below if you think I should buy the book, because it was a 5-star. It is so beautiful, the sprayed edges. And it's 20% off right now at Indigo, and I'm like, do I buy it even though I've already read it? But it's a 5-star. I'm going to read it again. So message below if you think I should buy it, and message below if you have Kindle Unlimited but you still buy the books, because somehow Kindle Unlimited is supposed to save you money, but you still buy the books. Anyways, all right, so that's what I read in March. Let me know what you've read in March and what you have on your TBR for April, and I'll see you soon.